The following program contains knowledgeable information about the Comedy Network. The Comedy Network is a Canadian broadcasting station and therefore is not as good as or as funny as its American counterpart Comedy Central. Viewer discretion is advised. Toronto. Home of the CN Tower, the Eaton Centre, and a really bad hockey team.
My heart.
And back on October 17th, 1997, Toronto also became home to the one and the only Comedy Network!
Yay!
Which also makes the Comedy Network 20 years old, almost the legal drinking age in the States. But who cares, because in case you didn't already know, the Comedy Network is Canadian.
Thank God. Where would we be without comedy?
I don't know, where would we be?
Comedy is a good way for individuals, such as myself, and many other Canadians with crippling depression, to laugh hysterically and forget about our terrible lives for half an hour while watching stand-up, sitcoms, sketch comedy, and much more.
Much more.
Woo! Fun fact!
Da-da-da!
The Comedy Network has two siblings, Comedy Gold and Much Music.
The Comedy Network, a division of Bell Media, is famous for shows such as Corner Gas, and of course, you can't forget Just for Laughs. However, I'm not too fond of the name. Did they just assume my emotion? I think they should change their name to Just for However You Want to Feel, so we can maintain an inclusive culture.
All joking aside, the Comedy Network has been quite successful in bringing comedic gold to Canadians for 20 years. Some original Comedy Network shows developed, Are you
having a stroke?
That's not grammatically correct. Some original Comedy Network shows that have been developed have now gained, as I quote, a cult following with loyal fan bases, such as Puppets Who Kill, Odd Job Jack, Kevin Spencer, and the very popular Corner Gas. Corner Gas has won also many awards, including 6 Gemini Award wins, 7 Leo Award wins, and an International Emmy nomination. Now, here's a bunch of boring information that nobody really wants to sit through and listen to, but too bad, because you have no choice. Comedy Central was formerly named Comedy Central. No, it's Comedy Network.
No, it's Comedy Central. Oh, jokes. It's Comedy
Jokes.
Network. Jokes, folks.
Jokes, folks.
Jokes.
Comedy Network was formerly named 11555636 Ontario Inc. for some odd reason. Why would you name it something that you can barely remember? It's like when you make up a password with 10 digits and have to keep clicking the forget password button.
In September 1996, 11555636 Ontario Inc. was granted a television broadcasting license by the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission for the Comedy Network. It was controlled by Baton or Baton, depending on what your dialect is. Or pronunciation, that was a better word. Broadcasting. With the remaining interests held by Shaw Cable, Astral Broadcasting, and Lay Films Rozon Inc. Why?
Yeah, Films Rozon Inc.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. I had no idea how to say that.
The channel was officially launched on October 17th, 1997.
And the slogan, Time Well Wasted, was used November 1st, 2011, when the network was overhauled.
Oh, I think that's a typo.
Oh.
Yeah, the slogan Time Well Wasted was used until November 1st, 2011, when the network was overhauled.
It's not used anymore?
No.
Oh.
I know.
Well, that's depressing.
Right?
The slogan Time Well Wasted was used up until November 1st, 2011 when the network was overhauled.
It's similar to A&E's Time Well Spent.
They say similar. We say ripped off.
Totally.
Shaw, Astral, and
Les Films Raison
sold their interest in the service to Baton, which became Bell Globe Media in 2001, then later renamed to CTV Globe Media in 2007.
And then in 2011, the company was renamed again to Bell Media following its acquisition by Bell Canada.
Wow, they really can't make up their mind.
They really can't.
In August 2013, the CRTC denied an amendment that allowed the Comedy Network to run more younger-oriented shows, especially animated shows, as it would eventually lead to competition with Teletoon and Bite TV. Since September 2013, most of Comedy Central's shows have premiered on sister network Much Music.
In the beginning, they ran episodes of British TV like Mr. Bean and The Baldy Man. Don't know those. Just for Laugh Comedy Festival performances, Open Mic with Mike Bullard, Saturday Night Live repeats, and other older TV shows.
Holly does not know who Mr. Bean is. You can now boo.
You are tearing me apart!
In this present day, the network is now home to several original comedies from TBS.
Yeah, rebranding the network is occurring slowly, so expect to see a lot of reruns and ad time.
Bell owns Comedy Network and CTV. Dun, 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 dun. Well, folks, thanks for sitting through that load of information you'll probably forget once you leave this room.
Did you know? The Comedy Network reinvests nearly 50% of its revenues into homegrown productions.
The more you know. Anyways, I guess what we are trying to tell you, our fellow classmates, is that
when you're having a rough day,
or just a normal day, because I don't want to leave out anyone.
kick back with some popcorn and tune in to the good old Comedy Network for your daily dose of laughter.
Which, of course, we all know is the best medicine out there. I mean, unless you have some sort of horrible disease, in which case, you should probably see a doctor.
Or you'll die.
Or you die, in which case, you're dead, so that's fun.
Thank you for watching,
and have a zippity-doo-dah day!
Mommy, it's over.
Wrong.
Regardless of your opinion about Pornhub.com, you have to admit that this intro and that theme are pure pornography. And who would have thought that it was all started from 4 brothers, named Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack. The former 3 immigrated to Canada from Poland, while Jack was born in London, Ontario before the family moved to Pennsylvania, and then Ohio. Naturally, if you're that confused about your literal place in the world, you do the most logical thing and open a shoe repair shop until that closed. Then you open a grocery store until that closed. And then a bowling alley until that closed. Finally, they opened a movie theater, which almost closed, but was saved. The movie business seemed to be the only thing they could keep open. So, in 1923, they decided to move up to distributing films. And that's definitely not closing. That's because, since adapting Broadway plays in the 20s, Warner has been making bloody everything. From pioneering talkies to making Ronald Reagan their top star. From creating Looney Tunes to giving someone called Doris Day a big break. I don't know, I remember her from that one part of We Didn't Start the Fire. They made Superman really fly, until he didn't, and gave this guy some sleeping issues. Having divisions for television, animation, theater, and music definitely help, as well as owning DC, New Line, and 50% of the CW. They're currently owned by Time Warner, which kinda sounds like if Jack Warner was a Time Lord. I guess if you do want to distribute films all over the place, a TARDIS helps. Actors who are lucky enough to find themselves in a feature under Warner will likely meet Primetime Emmy winner Laura Kennedy, the executive VP of casting for features at Warner. She's casted films such as Man of Steel.
I will find him!
Oh, come on. Everyone makes mistakes.
Good night, everybody.
I joke about Warner. Not because I utterly despise them, far from it. I joke because there's a real tragedy to the company. Jack Warner is arguably the most important of the brothers, as he ran the company until his retirement in the 1970s. It didn't start out that way for him. He was a street thug, briefly part of a gang in Youngstown, Ohio. That is, until his brother Sam found an Edison kinetoscope, a device that projected moving pictures onto a screen. Jack joined his brother and found fortune in Jack's only taste of optimism and excitement: show business. They convinced the rest of the brothers to invest in talkies and produced the first feature-length talking picture, The Jazz Singer, together.
Wonderful pals are always hard to find. Some folks have one, some folks have none.
It is ranked the 99th best film of all time and is preserved in the National Film Registry. Everyone at the premiere could sense history was about to be made. Jack Warner was not one of them. He wasn't even at the premiere. He was at home, mourning Sam, who had died of pneumonia the day before. Nowadays, it's hard to see past Jack's tendency to fire people and lack of any awareness for what his studio made, claiming he only knew Warner made Mickey Mouse in the animation department. He even bought Harry and Albert's stocks to become the sole owner of the company, tricking his brothers into a joint sale of their stocks. But I'm convinced that the day Jack died on September 9th, 1978, he thought of Sam and what he would think of the empire he created. Whether he himself lived up to Warner's motto, educate, entertain, and enlighten.
Oh, I'll kiss my boy. Dirty hands, dirty face, little devil, that's what they say. But to me, he's an